Hey everyone! Welcome to this live edition of the Menopause Map Fem Power. Welcome to the month of love. February is Valentine's month, and I am wanting to talk about the pressures that we feel in midlife. And I thought it was appropriate because this is Valentine's week. So I'm Jennifer Seven, and I'm the founder of the Menopause Map community. And I just think it's super important that we get on and talk about how to navigate this time of life. And I'm going to share with you some scripts that might help you communicate better during this time. So, the first thing, I just want to clarify a few things. I want to tell you that there are now 100 menopause symptoms that have been documented. And I know many of us have we know about the typical ones, the night sweats, the sleeplessness, the mood swings, the changes in our body, the belly fat. Those are the common ones, but can you believe it? There's 100 symptoms, and they're not ones that we typically realize can be attributed to the hormonal changes in our life. So it could be something where dry skin, dry eyes. We know that our libido changes. We know that there can be vaginal dryness, but muscle aches and pains, ear ringing, tinnitus, all kinds of things. It's really amazing what's going on with our bodies during this time in our life. And I also wanted to let you know that they're finding now that perimenopause actually begins about 7 years before these common symptoms show up. So our hormones are changing 7 years before we even realize what's going on. And they can be more subtle, but there's a lot of fluctuating going on. And now that we know that there's 100 symptoms that can go along with menopause, they may be showing up, but we just don't recognize them as being part of this time of our lives. So I wanted to let you know that because a lot of what is happening in our lives is really not our fault. So we need to know that this is hormonal. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you some scripts for how to navigate some of these difficult situations in our relationships. But again, before we dive into that, I want to just set the stage with telling you what the actual definition is of perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Perimenopause is everything leading up to menopause. And menopause is actually just one moment in time. So it is defined as 12 months, 12 consecutive months without a period. And when we hit that 12-month mark, then we are in menopause for just that moment. And after that moment, that 12-month moment, we now shift into postmenopause. And postmenopause can be 30 years, depending on our life expectancy. So, this whole transformation in our lives is quite significant and quite long. And I'm also really excited to say hello to everyone that's joined on here today. So, women are living longer. We're living longer in postmenopause. So, there's a lot of symptoms that begin happening during that time as well. So, it's important to recognize this and again realize this is not our fault. Things are happening to our bodies. We may not even know why. And for women in particular, we don't always get answers from our doctors. There's very little education for our doctors on menopause while they're in med school. So there's a lot out there for men, but not so much for women. So I'm here, no medical advice, just some information and coaching for you to help navigate this time in your relationships. So we may feel less intimate if we have painful sex or vaginal dryness, or our mood is depressed, or we haven't slept. We may not be at full capacity. We have so many tasks as women and we may not understand why we are just not feeling at our full capacity. We may have brain fog. We may have memory issues. So, one of the first things I think women need to do is give yourself a break. Okay. This is not your fault. It's happening to you. And let yourself off the hook. Okay. So, a lot's going on. And it's very helpful, first to identify that this is a hormonal change. But then once we've identified it or begin to recognize it, I want us to be able to touch base with our body and say, how am I feeling today? Let's start to identify, is my energy low? Did I not sleep well? Did I have a crazy day? Are my moods all over the place? Am I uncomfortable? Am I sweating like crazy? And then let's identify what our capacity is. Are we at full capacity? Are we at half capacity? Are we at low capacity? And once we're able to touch base with that, then we can adjust. It doesn't mean that we can't fulfill and complete what we need to do, but we need to do it more gently, more easily. Midlife is really a time of being more sensitive to ourselves. We need to not have so much pressure. So, identifying our capacity and then being able to communicate it. So, we need something quieter. We need romance that's not pressure. We need romance that's safety. And let's share some scripts for you so that you can share with your partner, your spouse, your husband when the intimacy or there's this pressure on Valentine's, let's go out to dinner, let's have romance, and then we're going to have this hot sex that night. And maybe you just are like, I don't even want to be touched because I've been sweating, I didn't sleep, and it doesn't feel good to me. And to be able to express that, but then also to realize there's other ways of creating intimacy that don't have to necessarily end up in sexual intercourse, but to be able to have that conversation with your partner. Things are just shifting, and the sleep, the stress, the overstimulation, there might be resentment going on, and we're just not feeling seen in our lower capacity. So as Fempower women, we want to be able to name it. We want to be able to ask clearly for what we want, and then we want to be able to repair, and repair may be small. So when I give you these scripts, and I'll also be posting them in our Menopause Map, which I'll drop the link in the description later if anybody wants to join, because it's a great place to get resources and support and community. But how to use the scripts. Let's just say it once, then take the next right action for you. You don't need to over explain. And if the conversation begins to escalate, just pause and return later. So here's script number one, and I'm just going to refer to my notes here to make sure that I share all the information with you. So, script one, my capacity is really low, but my connection is still a yes. And these are some scripts that may help you, and you can use the exact words if that helps you. So, the first one is, I'm not mad at you. My capacity is just low right now. And you can even look your partner in the eyes and perhaps put your hand on his heart so that he really hears you, and just say, my capacity is low right now. My connection is still a yes, but pressure is no. And what would really help me the most tonight is just some quiet, help with dinner. And I just need 10 minutes to reset. I'd like to come back to you in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, in an hour. And this could be an example where you just walk in the door and you're tired. Your spouse is wanting to talk logistics and starts pushing at you. And this is when you can say the script. I'm not mad at you. My capacity is low right now. Connection is yes, but pressure is no. And what would help me is to come back in 10 minutes and then just have a quiet dinner. So I'll come back at 8:30. Then your action would be to set a timer, do your reset, whatever that is. Could be just breathing exercises, a 10-minute nap, and then return when you said you would. So you're building trust with your partner as well. This protects your intimacy because it separates love from bandwidth. And it also builds that trust because you do return at the time that you said you would. So, script number two, I need repair, not debate. And again, here's your script. I'm starting to feel defensive. I don't want to win. I just want to repair. Can we slow this down? And here's what I can own, and then share what you can own about yourself. And then share, here's what I need from you. Can we try again with a softer tone and less words. So here's the situation. Here's an example for you. You snap. He snaps back. Now it's a spiral. You're snapping back and forth. You can say right there, I'm starting to feel defensive. I don't want to win. I want to repair this. Can we just slow this down? Here's what I can own. My tone came out sharp. Yes, I snapped at you, but here's what I need. I need a pause, and then I need a calmer restart. Can we try again with a softer tone and a fewer words? And again, let's be making that eye contact and just slowing down. Sometimes you can put in there, I love you, but can we just slow down? And then just take some action. Maybe you just need 2 minutes apart and say, we'll come back in 2 minutes and we're going to start with one sentence. So it stops the fight from turning into character assassination. You move from content to process, and that's where repair lives. Here's my third script for you. Touch and intimacy. Let me try that again. Touch and intimacy need consent, not obligation. Hear me on that. Touch and intimacy need consent, not obligation. Here's your script. I love you, and my body needs a slower pace right now. I'm not rejecting you. I'm protecting connection. Here's what feels good tonight, and you're going to fill in the blanks. Here's what doesn't feel good tonight, and fill in the blanks. If we do this first, I'll be more open later. And I'm going to give you a scenario. Here's the situation. He's going straight for sexual energy. You are touched out. You've been having hot flashes. You haven't been able to sleep. Sex isn't feeling as good as it used to. So you're touched out. So you can say, I love you, but my body needs a slower pace right now. I'm not rejecting you. I'm protecting our connection. And here's what can feel good tonight for me. Cuddling, a back rub, but no expectation. And here's what doesn't feel good tonight. Pressure or negotiating. If we do cuddling first, I'll be more open to more later. Then here's the action. You offer the first step you named, you don't apologize, and you follow through. Remember, this is your body, and you have a right to express how you're feeling. And this could be very helpful for him too, because again, remember, most men don't understand all of these things that are happening with our bodies. So we're opening up that connection, which actually can deepen our intimacy during this time. It's keeping that intimacy alive. It's building safety for you and probably for him too, because he may not know or understand what's happening. He's feeling rejected. Safety is what makes desire possible. So those are my scripts for today. Again, I'll drop them in the Menopause School. I want you to pick one script that you're going to practice all week. I want you to tell your partner, I'm practicing fewer words, which means probably less arguments, and more repair. Choose one repair ritual for 7 days. And that repair ritual could be something like a 10-minute walk after dinner. And this is for you. This isn't for him. This is your repair ritual. Maybe you just need to put the phone down for 10 minutes, have some tea on the couch, and perhaps a 6-breath reset, some box breathing or just some deep breathing before you head into that bed. And then maybe a 3-minute check-in. How is my capacity from 1 to 10? 1 being I have no capacity. 10, I have full capacity. You may be somewhere in between. But once you've identified your capacity, then you'll be much more able to express how you're feeling. And remember, tiny counts. Consistency beats intensity. Midlife love isn't about more performance. It's clearer asks, softer pacing, and repair that happens fast. So save these scripts, share them with one woman who is trying to hold it all together. No, all of this isn't your fault, but we do have tools. And join the Menopause Map for weekly support and live sections. And you'll find it on school, and I'll drop it in the comments below. And thank you so much for being here today.